Hey Facebook, I wanted to get on here today and talk about something a little bit personal. I just had my very first daughter's 5th birthday yesterday, and if you don't know me personally, you may not know my story. So I wanted to share a little bit about some of the things that my husband and I struggled with in the past, and hopefully it'll give somebody a little bit of hope. So, I think it was in 2010, does that make sense? Yeah, about 2010, my husband and I decided to get pregnant, and we got pregnant right away, and we were so excited that we jumped the gun and shared it with our family and everybody else in the world, and very shortly after that, we lost the baby. And it was devastating to me. If you've experienced this before, it was something that the moment I became pregnant, I knew I was a mom. I felt an opportunity. I just felt this life inside of me, and I had already started, having some symptoms and some different things, and so I was really devastated, even though it was a really early loss. My husband didn't really get it. He didn't really react the same way that I did. I was just completely devastated. I still have a hard time talking about it today. If my mom would show you, look back to my preschool days, my kindergarten days, my middle school days, when people asked me what I wanted to be when I grew up, it was that I wanted to be a wife and a mom. I never really had this big dream to be anything else. And so for as long as I can remember, that was my dream. I begged my husband every day for 3 years after we got married that we could have a baby. And when he finally said yes and we got pregnant, I thought that was it. I was 22, I think, at the time. I was I wasn't super healthy. I was overweight, but I had never really had any major issues, and it didn't run in my family. So I thought, no big deal. I was going to be able to get pregnant, and my sister had just gotten pregnant right away, and everything was going to be great, right? So when we lost our first baby, I was just devastated. So I went and talked to the doctor, and they told us pretty much that was normal. There was nothing we could do. It was just going to be something that, it was probably just a one-time thing. And so we had to wait a couple of months, and then we could start trying again. I've never had a problem getting pregnant. I've always been able to get pregnant, but I've had trouble keeping our pregnancies. So got pregnant with the second time, and we were over the moon, so excited again. Decided I didn't want to hold back again, and I shared it with the world, and I was so excited, and I just decided, this is just my personal testimony, my personal feelings on why I shared with everybody that I was pregnant, even though it was early. I felt like when we lost the pregnancy, I didn't want to keep that a secret. I wanted people to understand why I was struggling, why I was sad, why I had a bad day, why I would break down in tears, whatever it was. And I wanted to, so I wanted to share with people, because just as much as I felt like, my personal view on pregnancy is the moment that sperm reaches the egg, and it's fertilized, you're a mama. And so if you're on here and you're struggling keeping a baby, I just want you to know that in my eyes, I believe that in God's eyes, the moment that conception happens, that you're a mom, and don't let anybody steal that joy from you, because that's a life that God created inside of you. And so for me, I was like I said, so we lost the second baby, lost the baby early. Doctor again didn't want to give me much explanation, and didn't want to do any tests. He said, you have to have 3 miscarriages before I'll do any testing. And I was young, y'all, and I was healthy, and I put my foot down and said, no way, because it was devastating. It was such a struggle to go through that feeling that you're so excited and then it's just ripped out from underneath you. And so I just said no. I said, I want every test you can possibly do, and I want it now. And if I can't get it from you, I'll go somewhere else. And so we were able to get some testing done. I want to kind of just backtrack a little bit. If you're going through some losses, it's really hard to describe what that feels like unless you've been there. And if you're not going through it, but you know somebody that is, the best thing you can do is just listen. And to know that, at least for myself, like I said, for myself, I felt an instant bond with my babies. And I believe that at conception that I was a mom. And so it was just, but I've had some really hurtful things said to me during those times. And so the best thing you can do is just listen and wrap your arms around that person and tell them that you don't understand, but that you love them and that you're here if they ever want to talk about it. My sister did something for me that I'll never forget. Sorry, y'all. Obviously, 6 years later, it's still very painful. It's not something I'll ever forget, but it is something that I have grown from. And so my sister did something for me that I'll never forget. I got a card. I believe it was at Mother's Day. Oh my goodness, sorry. I should have some tissues. And I still had yet to have a live pregnancy. I had watched her have a beautiful baby girl, my niece who I love dearly. And she had given me a necklace that I still have. And it says, it was then that I carried you. And it was with 2 footprints. And it's the story of Jesus that when he's carrying a person in that poem, that were the footprints poem. And it was just kind of twofold. It was that I was carrying my babies, but that Jesus was carrying me through this at the same time. And so, but just the fact that somebody took the time to recognize my losses meant the world to me. And so, again, if you have somebody that is going through pregnancy loss, show them that you care, show them that you're thinking about them, show them that those babies are not forgotten. Take time to light a candle in, I believe it's in August when we have Pregnancy Loss Month. Like, take the time to show them that you love them through those times. So, back to my story. So, sorry guys, I didn't realize I would get this emotional. I would have some tissues. So we went on to get some tests done. I went to a reproductive endocrinologist, and we did not have any money at the time. My husband was still in the post office working at the time, and we were paying out of pocket for insurance. Crazy expensive. I had a super high deductible, but I didn't care. Infertility was not covered by my insurance, and so it was a real struggle. We went into some debt over it, and we though I was willing to do anything. I have an amazing family that helped us a little bit financially at the time, and I am forever indebted to them. We decided to run some tests. The first time I had blood drawn, I had 21 vials of blood drawn, and I had a round of tests. One of the things that came back was that I have MTHFR. It's really complicated. Go look it up. But basically, it means that I don't process folic acid properly, and some of the struggles that I go through are that folic acid that I ingest actually binds to the receptors, and I'm not able to process the folate in my foods. And so, long story, but look it up. It also puts you at high risk for neurotube defects, and so we had some risks of children with some disabilities, and so we had to make a choice if we were going to move forward or not. We chose to. And I also struggle with a disorder called PCOS, which also puts me at a higher risk for miscarriage and causes me to struggle sometimes to keep pregnancy. So we ended up choosing to go the route of IUI. That is, it's an artificial insemination with my husband's sperm and my eggs, but using some wonderful technology. I went through a million tests and a million different things, and so we just decided that was going to be the best route. It was very expensive for us, and we tried it the first time and it didn't take, and that was pretty devastating because we didn't have any money. The second time around, I had family members that offered to help. And I think everybody in my family was rallying and praying and decided that we would do whatever it took. And some people have different views on that, but for us, we decided that was the route we wanted to go for now. I was getting tired, though. I was tired of being poked and prodded. I thought maybe I should just adopt. Maybe I'm just not meant to have a baby. I went through a lot of struggles, and this is, you know, if you have some friends that are going through miscarriages, know that it is a crazy emotional journey. One of the things that I struggled with was, what if my husband wants to leave me? Now, I know now that that is a crazy thing to think, but at the time, he didn't even want to hear about adoption, and I thought, what if I can't give him a biological child? What if he leaves me for that? What if that is a deal breaker for him? And obviously, like I said, my husband is a follower of Christ and wouldn't leave me for that. But at the time, I didn't know what to feel. My emotions were everywhere. I didn't understand why. I didn't understand why. It felt like the minute I wanted to get pregnant, everybody around me was pregnant. I had a friend who didn't want to be pregnant, get pregnant at the same time, and she got to keep her baby, and I didn't. There was just a lot of things that were going on in my life. And people would tell me, Ansley, you're going to use this as a testimony. God's using you to give you a testimony. And I would fight back and say, I don't want a testimony. I just want a baby of my own. And so I look back now, and God's timing was perfect. But I didn't understand it at the time, and I had hit rock bottom. I was praying all day, every day. I was crying all the time. I was really, really struggling. But it brought me closer to the Lord. It brought me closer to my husband. We could have lost our marriage over this. It was something that we fought over a lot because I was tired. I was tired of trying. I was tired of being poked and prodded, and I was tired of being devastated. So we decided to try IUI one more time. And the first time, my husband was super busy and didn't get to be there, and had an amazing friend be there with me. And the second time around, he was able to get off work. This was actually around the same time that he joined the military. So he was a couple of weeks away from going to basic training, but he got to be there in the room at the time, and actually so I have a picture of the syringe, and he got to push the button, and we prayed over that, and we ended up getting pregnant with Adelie, and she's our miracle. I found out that I was pregnant, I thought I was pregnant, I found out that I was pregnant when my husband was gone. He was visiting his family and saying goodbye to them because he was joining the military. And we finally, I got all my blood work done and all that, trying to speed my story up. And he had to leave. He had to go to basic training. So we found out that we were pregnant for sure, and got our first ultrasound at 4 weeks and got to see a little bitty sac. days before he left for basic training. So here we are, 4 weeks pregnant, terrified out of my mind, because I thought, what if he leaves and I have another miscarriage? And he did. He left, and hang on one second. Oops, sorry. He left and went to basic training, and I wrote him letters every day telling him all the crazy things that were happening and what we were going through. I wrote him letters telling him that I threw up in front of my boss. And I was so excited, because I was so excited to finally have symptoms of a pregnancy. And I sent him our ultrasound pictures, and I know that that was something that helped him get through basic training. Because he didn't know. He didn't know if I was doing okay, unless he got a letter from us. So, anyways, so I wanted to share, something about God's timing, whether it's infertility or something else in your life that you're struggling with. God's timing is perfect. I know it doesn't feel that way. I know it feels like it should be right here, right now, but so I wanted to share this with you. Had I gotten pregnant and kept the very first baby that we got pregnant with, Rob would have left basic training days after the baby was born, and he wouldn't have been able to be there to love on him or her the way that we felt like we should. The second baby that we got pregnant with and lost, he would have left, he would have been gone during my delivery, and I know that is not something that God wanted for us. And so Rob returned when I was 6 months pregnant. We got in the car very quickly and drove to our new home of Albuquerque, and we had a beautiful home birth with her. And I decided on home birth for a lot of reasons, but one of those was we had gone through so much with all the infertility and with all the medications. I was on Lovenox injections every single day of my pregnancy, so I had to give myself a shot every day. And I was on probably 6 or 7 different medications every single day that made me super nauseous. And so I just decided I wanted to bring her into this world as quietly as possible, with the least amount of beeping and poking and prodding and all of those things that come with a hospital birth. And so that was our choice. It was something that we had decided. I wanted a natural birth, whether that was in a hospital or at home. I originally decided to go with a hospital birth, and we had some things that changed our mind. But I knew that if Jesus could die on the cross, I could deliver a baby naturally. So that was our choice. And my husband thought I was completely nutso, and as I'm sure some of you do, but we had a beautiful home birth, and we brought her into this world healthy and happy in a quiet environment, and got to be back in our room shortly after that. I chose to have a water birth with her, and Adelaide today is now 5 years old. And so if you're struggling with infertility, I just wanted to share this with you, because I want you to know that there's hope. That there was a day that I thought I would never get to hold my own biological child in my arms. And I have not had as many miscarriages as some people out there, and I have not had the struggles that some people out there have, but I just want you to know that there's hope, and that God loves you, and He sees the desires of your heart, and He wants to give those to you. And now I have 2 beautiful princesses that are ours. They're a piece of Him and a piece of me. And no matter how you get there, whether you choose to adopt, whether you choose to have a surrogate, or you choose to do IVF or IUI, or anything in between, that it is all worth it, and that someday you'll be able to look back and understand why you had to go on this infertility journey. And for me, I believe it's so that I could share a story with you. I love my girls with all of my heart, and it's why I have a passion to stay home with them. It's why I feel like I feel like I cherish motherhood so much more, because I had to struggle a little bit. And my husband and I now see eye to eye on that. And I realized that even though he didn't understand in the moments what I was going through, he was dealing with it in his own way. So just wanted to share some hope with you today. I hope that you can see that this journey isn't for nothing, that it's for whatever your purpose in life is, even when it sucks. So anyways, Gina, I see your comment. Yes, please reach out to me. I'd love to talk with you. So anyways, I just wanted to share something with you that I'm passionate about. I love being a mom, and I wanted to share my journey with you. Infertility is something that's not talked about very often, and that some people feel like they have to hide, or that it's shameful. And it's a passion of mine to share with others, because I want people to know that it's not taboo, and that there are so many people out there, and I'm one of 4. So if you're 1 in 4 and you want to share your testimony with me, or you want to talk with me, or you're still struggling, reach out to me. I'd love to love on you a little bit. I'd love to share more of my story with you, and I just want you to know that there's hope out there. So thanks for watching today, guys, and I hope you have a really great day.